Good evening, Bahamas. You're tuned in to NB12, the Weekend Edition, broadcasting from Cable 12 Studios on Robinson Road. Coming up tonight in news, the number of foreigners expected to work on Baha's construction site has decreased. Find out why. A Flamingo airplane goes down in bushes near an Exuma airport. We'll tell you what the airline's owner has to say. The F&M slams the government over its 100-day promises. Plus, ZNEST defends recent staff reassignments. We've got those stories and so much more coming up tonight. I'm Voinik Toot, and NB12 starts right now. Welcome once again to NB12 Weekend. Baha plans to hire more than 5,000 Bahamians to complement its existing staff upon the completion of its $2.6 billion resort in 2014. However, the developer was heavily criticized back in 2010 when it revealed that more than 8,000 foreign workers would be involved in the project. Well, Baha's senior vice president now says the number of foreigners expected to work on the construction site has decreased.
What is going to be extremely encouraging is not going to be the ratio that we originally envisioned, and it's going to be to the benefit of the Bahamian numbers rather than expatriate numbers.
The labor component of the $2.6 billion Baha project has been a huge concern for many Bahamians who have questioned the need for more than 8,000 foreign workers. As part of the developer's deal with government, 8,150 foreign laborers would help to build the resort on Cable Beach, along with over 4,000 Bahamians. However, 20 months into the project, Senior Vice President of Government and External Affairs Robert Sands says the ratio of foreign to Bahamian workers has changed.
The number that you should be concerned about is that Bahama to date has created in excess of 1,700 jobs for Bahamians on the construction site, and to date have only utilized less than 1,300 work permits, and we're already 1/3 of the project along. And the news really is that we're very conscious to create more job opportunities for Bahamians than for expatriates. One would have thought it would have been the reverse situation, and we are very encouraged by this trend, and it's very likely to hold.
Sands could not say how many work permits Baha will end up using by the project's completion in 2014. However, he made it clear there is definitely not a need for more than 8,000.
We are creating opportunities in larger numbers for Bahamians than we are for expatriates. And we certainly will not reach that large amount by any stretch of the imagination that was first imagined when we first agreed of the amounts of work permits that were required.
What number do you think you'll reach?
It's hard. It's hard. I wouldn't say we're at our max, but we certainly will not be near the figures that were originally envisioned in our forecasting and planning. And I think the Bahamian numbers will continue to grow as we get into aspects of the project that will accrue work to Bahamian contractors going forward.
Sands recently revealed that to date, Baha has tendered in excess of $190 million worth of work to Bahamian contractors and has already awarded $157 million. Therefore, he says they are well on their way to fulfilling their promise to the former government to award $400 million worth of contracts to Bahamian contractors. But what has changed to make the developer reconsider the number of foreign workers needed on its construction site?
In planning, you have to assume and put forward your best efforts in calculating what would be the demand. But having been working on this site now for 20 months and the amount of work that we've been accomplishing, we've found that we can do as much with more and also create opportunities for Bahamians at the same time. So that scenario has basically worked into our favor.
The Department of Civil Aviation has launched an investigation to determine what caused the Flamingo airplane to crash land in bushes near Staniel Key Airport in Exuma on Saturday. Police say the pilot lost control of the 9-seater Cessna aircraft while attempting to land at the airport shortly before 3 p.m. Authorities tell us passengers were treated at the local clinic for minor injuries and were later discharged. We understand those passengers were advised to get x-rays. Owner of Flamingo Air, Raymond Meadows, told NB12 today that the plane slid off the runway. Asked whether the landing gear failed, Meadows said no, insisting that the runway was wet from rain. Meadows said he spoke with the pilot, who felt everything was textbook and that he did all that he could. The airplane reportedly sustained extensive damage. The Free National Movement has accused the Christie administration of leaving a trail of broken promises during its first 100 days in office. The government marked 100 days last week. However, F&M leaders chose not to weigh in on the Progressive Liberal Party government's performance out of respect for party chairman Charles Maynard, who passed away the day before. Well, opposition leader Dr. Hubert Minnis hit out at the government this afternoon during a church service held to commemorate the 20th anniversary of the F&M's first general election victory.
The present PLP government, over the past 100 days in office, has already left a trail of broken promises, claiming to believe in Bahamians. They have indulged in the most callous and vicious program of widespread political victimization. Having promised streets paved with gold rush, all that Bahamians have received to date is a lot of speeches, posing, and hot wind.
In order to defend Bahamians, Dr. Minnis told F&M members that they must be prepared to take on the PLP.
We must be ready. Ready to call them out. Ready to row them out. Roll them out. And finally, vote them out. For us to take on the PLP, the DNA, and all those that oppose us politically, we must stand together. We must create an impenetrable bond. We must stand ready to fight externally, not tear each other down internally.
F&M's also paused for a moment of silence in honor of Charles Maynard. Minnis says Charlie, as he was affectionately called, had an invigorating presence and infectious smile.
He was passionate, yet very personable. When Charlie accepted the call to public political life, he did so with valor, conviction, and great fortitude.
On this day 20 years ago, Hubert Ingram led the Free National Movement to victory in the 1992 general election. The party also won the 1997 and 2007 general elections under Mr. Ingram's leadership.